was a boring discussion on procrastination. It's on. Is it on? It's on. Okay.
Just now.
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
It's 6 o'clock again today. We have one newcomer, Mr. Ken. Which company you work with, Mr. Ken?
People construction company.
Construction company. Which construction company?
We on our own way.
You on your own. What's your got company got name or not? What's the name?
Top Masters.
Huh?
Top Masters.
What made you come here?
I received an email.
Is it? How come?
Maybe I attend your talk before.
Is it? Maybe. Have you ever met me before?
Quite familiar face that for that. Maybe Gail. How come you have an email address?
I don't know. You met Mr. Ken?
No.
Okay, welcome. Hope you come again. Okay, great. That's all. Let's spend this 2 hours and see what we can get out of it again. The subject we're going to talk about is procrastination. I was going through the net and trying to find out if there was any form of statistics, and I found this. I didn't realize that there was a collection of data. That means in 1 year, we spent 55 days procrastinating. Somebody has done this. Somebody has put together the data. That's roughly 2 months, I mean, they must have collected time procrastinating. I think it's a lot, isn't it? Huh? Sounds a lot, isn't it? Okay, because I don't know whether, well, I don't know whether to believe it or not, but hey, it looks possibilities that, I mean, people just postpone something they have to do now to another time. This is the problem with most people. I will do it afterward, I'll do it later, or, we can go through the details afterward. Actually, I'm going to today deal only with execution part of it. What do you do to get out of this procrastination? That's what I'm going to do. About 9 things that I'll probably discuss in today's program. But basically, is procrastination a disease? Is it a mental disease? Huh? You think so too, huh? Well, some of the things which I've read. See, if you don't suffer from it, I mean, if you are not a procrastinator, you really do not know whether it's a problem or not. I don't procrastinate. This has not been me in all my 80 years of life. I never procrastinate. If something got to be done, I do it. If I don't do it now, then I will allocate the time to get it done. Or something will happen. There is nothing in me that says this is a pending list. I have a whole lot of pen. I don't have that kind of thing. Whether it's personal, financial, psychological, family, or whatever that is, I do not have that kind of a list that I got to do. About the only thing that is pending between me and sleep is my will, final will. That she hasn't had time to read about it, and I haven't had time to read, and we got to sit down and read it together. That's about the only thing. But the reason I'm postponing, I got a reason for that, not to do. Not procrastinating. I postponing that for a purpose. But generally speaking, I have nothing that needs to be. The bills are paid electronically, otherwise she pays it. What else needs to be procrastinated? I don't know. So for me, to answer that question would be very tough. Really tough. I was exploring on this yesterday, the whole of yesterday, after you left, I was sitting and trying to understand again. But you say it's a psychological problem, right? Or a mental problem. Why?
I used to procrastinate a lot.
Okay.
And it's mental. up and do this. Physically, you're capable of doing it, but mentally, you don't want to feel tired, feel lethargic, feel something that you put off later, and the mind will quickly find another thing. You can watch a movie and read after the movie, or why don't I go to the mall and then read after that. Let's just or read a blog, and then do the work that is supposed to be done.
Okay, at that point in time, have you questioned yourself, why don't I want to do it?
No,
Never, huh?
before.
Huh?
Before.
You never. So actually, I also, well, it's like this, okay? If, example, I'm working and I've been concentrating, usually it's got to do with my concentration. And then, as I'm, welcome, good evening, come, sit down. Sit in this chair. Huh? I want you to sit beside her. You can teach her. You see, in my case, I concentrate, and then maximum I can focus on anything for a period without interruption would be about 90 minutes, or if I stretch it, I can go up to 127, 2 hours maximum. And then I want to stretch myself to do something else. At that point in time, I spend a few minutes, it won't just come. It just wants me to take a break to do something else. So to me, that's not procrastinating. In other words, you do not plan for it, you don't want to do it, it's okay. But generally speaking, I don't understand procrastination. But there are people who tell me again and again, and when I saw these statistics, I was really amazed. These are the worldwide statistics, they have been collected. And all these are European statistics, so they can't be bluffing all the time, maybe 5-10% over. So if people are procrastinating 55 days of the 1 year period, it's a hell of a lot of time that is wasted. Very possible. We don't do it because the explanation is because the task is very emotional. Meaning you don't want to do that because it is emotionally affecting you. That's why you put off. Or it has something to do with matters which you don't want to even go into. Like as an example, you want to get rid of somebody. You don't want to get rid of the person. You dare not address it, you procrastinate it. Or you want to reprimand somebody, you procrastinate. So there are lots of things that you procrastinate not to do it. But there are things that you don't procrastinate immediately. So this deals with procrastination. So in procrastination, I think a good explanation that you want to delay it. You want to delay it, you don't do it now, you want to do it later. Because it's unpleasant. Or it is boring, something that you're not familiar with. One of the things that 55 days, I am now making an explanation. The 55 days they put it is because if you are not familiar with the subject, as an example, you've never done it before, it's given to you as a task. So now you don't know how to do what to do, and therefore you delay it. Let me refer to this, or do a book, or go and do a Google, or something like that.
Not enough information.
Huh?
Not don't have enough.
Don't have.
You don't have enough information on the subject, so you
Then do
tend
homework.
to delay. You didn't do enough homework. You're right.
Yeah.
I do it very often.
Okay,
If
fine.
it doesn't have the thing that I want and I go to search for it, it takes time.
But I think that's not procrastination. That's you are seeking information, and then you are just putting.
No, stop that.
No.
Stop that. What you said is
Yeah.
You
know the information is there,
Oh,
but you got to dig for
I
it.
see.
You got to look for it.
Okay.
So you don't want to waste your time sitting down digging, but you know this job has to be done. But because you're too lazy to go and dig here, dig there, and you're not organized, another factor. You're unable to withdraw the files immediately.
To want to look at it.
I find organization is still the key to this. If you don't have the good organization factors with you,
Why things are.
and you will definitely okay.
Yeah, yes. Sunita, what's your opinion?
We're only looking at it in work hour. If you tell me 55 days now, that means more than that.
Sorry?
I think we procrastinate more than 55 days.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa! Come. What do you mean? This is not even acceptable to you. You think the days are much more?
Yeah.
I procrastinate more than this.
Is that right? Okay.
Because during work, people procrastinate.
Yeah.
Then when they go home,
That is why you procrastinate.
haven't you ever found yourself just sitting down doing nothing when you know you need to do something? I know it happens to me.
Will you explain that?
Okay, I
You want to do something?
Yeah, you got to go back and do something.
Yes.
This is beyond my working hours. And then I don't do it. I'll do it tomorrow.
Okay, is it because
Could be laziness. Could be like, what's the hurry? Can wait. So 55 days is not enough.
you agree with that?
I thought 2 months was that much.
Huh?
I don't know, if we really look into it, it's definitely.
No one has done studies on this, no?
I agree with what you says.
Huh?
I can give you a very classic case. For example, 2 days ago, I made some this, they have this green peas kanji and all that. Yes, the tong soy. So I bought.
His wife is Chinese, you know.
I bought
His wife is Chinese, that's right.
I bought coconut milk. I used half of it I left it. Kept it in the fridge. Then I took it out, I left it. Because I want to convert that into oil. The coconut milk, balanced milk, I want to convert it to oil.
Oh, you can do that.
Yeah, you can do it. Left it outside. One night, next day I supposed to put it in the frying pan and extract coconut oil. It only take a few minutes. I said, let's take it. Then finally, this morning, 24 hours, this morning, I said, I cannot delay it anymore. You may smell, huh? Oh, I did it. So you see, you know you can do it, but you delay it. You say you can do it tomorrow. Usually within 12 hours, night time, next day, you do it. This time you went to the following day. So simple thing like that, you procrastinate.
It's not
Very simple things.
It's not important.
Yeah.
Huh? It's not urgent.
You're folding clothes. It would have been folded, kept for you to take it, put it, this is laughing. You take that and put it in the cupboard.
Happens to you.
Yeah, yes.
So we do it every day, but not everyone. There are a small group of people who are very ridiculous. Everything has to be organized, done,
And done.
and done. Then only they sleep.
Yeah. And then they can sleep.
I don't fall into that category.
I fall into the category.
You fall
I
into
must
that
get it
category.
done. Whatever it is, I must get it done. But I don't procrastinate at all unless I decide this can be delayed and I want to delay it. Then it gets delayed because I know what I'm doing. Like as an example, Sunita has got this famous thing to do, this slide, for instance. She
You're not
said,
getting a ride home today.
huh?
You're not getting a ride home today.
Whoa, is that right? Okay. All right. She sends me this. I try very hard to allocate time when I can go through this. Then I can play around with my time and all that. But she always, there's no other things. Then one day it struck me, hey, you're unreasonable. Because of the fact that you've allocated it, you want other people to fit into this. So you say, yeah, what's wrong with that? Well, you must also consider other people have other things to do. And you must take it upon yourself to give it the least amount of time that you need to have this done. So nowadays, I wait for our father to come. The moment he arrives, I automatically will sit. If I am doing something, I'll move that and put this in and get it done. It'll take me 1 hour or 2 to work on it. Sometimes it takes me a whole day because I want to redo it or do something different. But that's what I adjusted myself to fit into Tony because he has got many things to do also. But I noticed Sundaras as an example, okay? This month, be time-wise, came out quite late July. Okay? Now, the thing is, I know condition. Another good example is that sometimes she's not putting the framework. I mean, the write-ups have been done, but maybe she's spending a lot of time doing it. I need to sit with her. You don't sit with her at all, going through. She seemed to take some time to pick up the cartoon pictures, to put the pictures, put it in the proper place in that Word document. Now ask her to send both and take a look at it and see what. So yeah, people do procrastinate, but sure, we do that. But it is something that I'm not familiar with myself. My experience has never been like that. Okay, if something not be done, not to be done. It also tells you that if you're not a procrastinator, you will take a decision, whether right or wrong. It's not for you to even think about it. You will just do it. Example, we were talking about this little mic. You can see something sticking out because they found that the voice from this particular speaker, as an example, is not good. So they suggested mic to use. And now I fitted this little mic, and we are saying, and apparently when I tested it just now, it was good. You also said very good. So this is something that we done. So immediately I said, hey, you silly, make the arrangement, you come and go and get it done. When have you decided to do it? Wednesday. Okay, fine, done. Okay, so this is the kind of thing.
I think the human procrastinate because they can. When they got no choice, you have to get it done. You got no choice, you can't procrastinate.
Okay,
You got no
that
choice.
is already under stress level already. You have no time, no money,
No choice.
or if you don't do it, something will happen. Usually it comes to a fine or some consequence of you not taking a decision. That is no more in the category of procrastination. This is you're forced to do it, and you do it, and you will never be happy doing it. So you don't want to get to the stage. You really want to get it done. Now, I will give you some tips. There are 9 areas in which we can discuss this and how to get out of procrastination. Now, this is a major issue. Because why? It is also true, no? Procrastination is the one that steals your time.
Can I
This-
ask one thing? In this procrastination, the 2 factors that I am always very confused. Urgent and important.
Yes.
Important may not be urgent, urgent may not be important.
Sure.
How will I make a decision?
No, I can give you a simple answer. I can give you a very simple answer. And that is like that, okay? And this is what I do. I tell you what I practice. If I look at something, I want to do it. If I want to work, do I need to do it now? Something urgent comes up again. Do I have to do it now? If I don't do it, what will happen? Okay, this one you can answer. Okay, answer now. So my immediate thing is, somebody wrote you an email, they need an answer, give it. It's not looking for right or wrong, just answer it. Okay, okay. Example. There is other occasion. This arrives, you need attention. Like for instance, my telephone, it's always shut down. It's never open, as you know very well. Because I don't pay attention to that. You can send me all the WhatsApp in life. You can do all that. I won't even look at it. Because my mode of communication is not WhatsApp. To me, To me, you want to communicate with me, there's only 2 ways. Send me an email. I will attend to you. Second, if you know me well enough, you call me using your name. If I see your name, I will answer. If I see some numbers, or unlock or block or something, I won't even bother. Okay? The other way is, you call me, I'm busy, I'm doing something like now, you leave me a message, I'll call you back. If you have left me your number, your name, okay, and if possible the purpose of the call, I will answer you. Okay? Or you need me to talk to you, like yesterday happened. Venga, I need to speak to you. Can I call you now? Okay? Then he said, call me now. Then within 30 seconds the call came through. I do that too. So you see, when you want to put them in a category, urgent, not so important, all that itself takes a lot of time. So the thing is this, if I don't do this, what will happen? Usually you get a lot of telephone calls or things that are not necessarily you want to get involved in it. And then people send you CC copy. Yeah, I hate CC copies. I hate it. I tell people that don't send me any CC copy. Don't want to know. I want you to solve. This is me now. But not everybody is me. I also understand that. Okay. But between urgent and important and all that, it's actually a concept. It's a concept developed during the Second World War. In the sense that you have limited resources, where do you deploy the resources? That is how it started. I have so many tanks, so many soldiers, how do I invade Germany or Europe? How do I do it? And that's why they linked this procastination table to Eisenhower's method of management, meaning the 4 categories. It's a concept. It's never applicable. It can never ever be used. I'll give you an example again. What is important to me may not be important to you. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So if I have a staff working for me, what is important to me may not be important to the staff. Unless you tell the staff, I want this to be done now. And the staff tell you, sorry boss, I have something else you're giving me. I got to do that now too. Which one do you want? Do you expect a staff to ask you that question? Do both.
The staff is very confident, certainly she will ask you.
Okay.
Depends on the relationship.
If she's a person who's a bit timid, okay boss, I'll do that. She will go through stress.
You're looking at a woman called Celine. She'll ask you that. How can I do both? I can do one.
Very confident, you know.
Yeah. What I'm saying is that what is important to me may not be important to you. Therefore, the problem is what is urgent, not important, all that is actually a human thing. You have something to do, yes, please do it. I'll get this done myself. But you see, this procrastination, now what Sunita says to me, after what you said, and Haruna confirms that. So maybe that's why they say 55 days, and you are saying more than 55. It's possible.
I suppose this is based on very important work and urgent work. But generally, you procrastinate every day. I from my perspective, I procrastinate every day.
You should.
Every day I procrastinate something, and end of the day I look back and see what really I did I do anything worthwhile today? Then I try to pick up something that I did really good for the day. That keeps me happy.
But that's not good, no?
That's not good. I guess not good.
Actually, then the way to get out of what you're saying is, on a daily basis, you need to look at your time frame. You have between 6 in the morning to 10 at night. You really got to look at it. What are the things that I got to do? Allocating some time for relaxation, all that, you put it down and get it done. Even though you can get 3 or 4 things done, and that's the maximum. It doesn't matter. You don't have to do 16 things.
Yeah.
Actually, it is said that every hour of the 16 hours that you have, every hour you must achieve something. So 16 things that you can achieve. Okay? There are many examples of that. One of the reasons why, specifically in the Asian world, where we are not considered productive people, is because of the fact that there is no measurement on an hourly basis as to what you are actually doing and not doing. Okay? Now, a lot of time, especially when you work with contractors, they cheat you on time. They say this will take 4 days. Actually, they can do it in 1 day. Okay? Now, therefore, they count for 4 days, but they actually can do it in 1 day. But to make sure that you pay for 4 days, they do little drag on. The machine's late or something is that. These are all, ways to steal money from people. It's not honest work. That happens all the time. You know that for a fact, okay? We know that for a fact. Now, therefore, but I'm saying that if we can just look at what we are procrastinating on, that Karuna, you are being frank and saying that I procrastinate every day. That's the first time I've heard someone say, I procrastinate every day. Does it happen to you every day? So
Some days.
not all day.
Okay.
So therefore, it's a relevant thing to understand that this is a problem. But therefore, when we say it's a thief of time, it's actually a thief of time that you lose. We keep on postponing. Not that we don't want to do, we want to do, but we don't have that will. Between the will and you, there seems to be a separation. Okay? Well, let me look at that in a short while. For the moment, question that you've got to ask yourself is, do you find yourself procrastinating? Of course you do. We all do. And that's been confirmed, right? We try to stop the time from moving. That's not possible. That's not possible, right? No, that's not. So let's look at it and see what else can we do. Okay? See, I think my view, if you take the cost effect, the effect of your time, see, nobody sits down and calculates what is their cost every day. What is your earning? Your earning capacity, total income in a year, divide that, or in a month, divide that by about 496 hours. Now 16 times 31, or 16 times 30. Okay, it's 480 or 496 hours. There are two sets of things that you can do. One is, first is the 16 hours a day. Okay, that's one. Then you got 480 hours. And then the other one is 496 hours. Okay? This is 16 hours. Whatever income that you are getting, you divide that by these numbers and you will know 1 hour cost you how much. You wasted it. Does that mean that I've got to be busy 16 hours a day? No. It's just a way to remind you that actually an hour cost, it's your cost. It's your cost. Whether you're at home or otherwise. Because that's your total earning. You understand what I'm saying now? You understand what I'm saying now?
Total earning? Okay, repeat that. Total earning divided by?
Your total earning divided by, either if it is 30 days, then you divide by 480 hours, or if it is 31 days, you divide by 490. This includes Saturday, Sunday,
Yeah.
This includes that. You divide it, then you realize, hey, 1 hour cost, my earning capacity is so much. I could better use of it, which is something which I did from a very early age. I tried to look at it and said, this is my earning possibility. Actually, I learned that when I was selling insurance. When I first started selling insurance, this is the calculation I made. So, otherwise, you're wasting time.
But I look at it different. I look at it, if a day you're working hours, 8 hours, and you got to be productive during the day, 8 hours. Anything after that, it's a family hours, a friend hours, and all that. So the problem with Asians or us, we don't really spend the 8 hours, maximize it by, if we can spend 60% of 8 hours in a very productive way, you're considered very productive. But if, like this, we are talking about it, we are talking about earning. We are not talking about your family time, your stress and your earning, working, earning. You work, then you get your earning that much. That's about 8 hours. Out of 8 hours, 60% you are really working. You go to our government department, I don't think so.
No, you can't compare that way, okay? Let me explain that. Why this is necessary to obey. Because in every human, we have this remarkable thing, okay? We have a home, okay? We have our health, and then we got to work. They are together, and they can be divided in sections like that. Okay. Now, the only one that pays is work. So you take that income, whatever dollars you earn, okay, and then you take the 16 hours and say, how did I spend it? Because, remember, you are not to just stage where you do 2 works, doing 2 jobs, but slowly coming in. Even in our country, it's coming. People drive a Grab to work around. So I'm saying, think like this, okay? If this earning is supporting this and supporting this, so why not? This is how we talk about what 50, 60 years ago. Because why? You earn this. This is what you earn. And you are selling insurance as an example. You don't go out and sell, you get income, And there was, in those days already, there was never a permanent income out of this. There's always that. So that's why I use this calculator. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying this is what I use. And this is how, that's why this comes in today. Cost and benefit. Meaning that if I procrastinate, who's losing? Who is losing? Is it other party or me? I'm the one losing it. So how can I be more effective? Because why? I look at myself and say, my maximum life is so much. Okay. Every day, I must be useful. That usefulness must be measured in quantity, quantum. So I'll make that kind of principle within myself. So I think most people don't look at it that way. It's okay. But if you start to measure yourself against your earning, then you realize that you could probably do more. Otherwise, you waste a lot of time. See, I give you some quick example of what's happening today. See, a lot of people retire at the age of 55, now 60. Right? Now, you know, our age, our lifespan has gone from 70 to 78, I believe. Now it's 78. You live up to 78. So now, if 60 to 78 is another 18 years that you live averagely. So who's going to pay for that 18 years? Your CPF or EPF cannot support that 18 years. It cannot. It can't. And it won't. So then you look at what kind of investment I make that can make me return. Is it all very easy? How many people you know are actually investing money? We saw an example this afternoon. Okay? We talked about it, remember? So you can see that we are heading into a disastrous situation. Then we talked to 2 people, one from Romania and Sweden. Both of them say that this is a problem also in Europe, where they retire at the age of 65, okay, and then they live until about close to about 85, some up to 90 years old. So you can imagine that. So if you start to calculate it, then you will see the cost benefit. Whatever needs to be done, get it done, which means you must become organized. The difference between the European society and Asian society, especially in Southeast Asia, we have this dad son that comes up every day. No issue. But in their case, they have a major problem. They have the 4 seasons. And because of the seasonal thing they have, their planning forces them to think ahead. Okay? Here, you get up in the morning, plan what to do. Those kind of behavior don't happen in Western society. You can look at it again. Look, go down to South. In Florida, as an example, people are a bit more relaxed, no need to plan, holiday. Florida is a holiday. Okay? But you go north, people are equally well planned. Winter is coming. If I don't plan it now, I'll be dead, you know. So the holidays are planned during summer and so on and so forth. Okay? If you go north, Canada and all that, they're even more planned. Because why? Their window of this relaxation is very little. It's approximately only 45 days. Okay? That happens. You go to Alaska, whatever, north, even worse. Okay? You go to South, Australia is an example. The northern part of Australia, couldn't be bothered, the sun is out every day. You go down south, you can see the difference. So that is why the weather also forces you to think a little bit. That's why this cost benefit may be something that in Malaysia we don't even bother about it. I can do it tomorrow, what I do. Okay, this thinking, if it changes, will be much better. So let's look at it, okay? First of all, we must understand, as an individual, we must understand that's everything. First of all, it's a self-defeating behavior. You must recognize it yourself. If you cannot recognize it yourself, there's no point. No point. You see, it also starts at a very young age coming up. It starts off when children go to school. Come back home. Nowadays, they don't come back for lunch. They come back probably later than lunch, right? What time was school?
5 o'clock.
4 o'clock. Okay. They really got no time. In fact, the idea behind that is because some studies show that children taking back homework and doing it at home was unproductive. They say the homework all must be finished in school itself. That's what they said. I don't know whether it's practiced throughout the country like that, I don't know. But again, they want to finish everything, go home, and then whatever you're going to do, no need to do homework. But what I'm saying is that it starts from a young age. If we learn that habit as we are young, and as we become older and older, we're not getting any better. We probably become worse. So therefore, the introduction of deadline, D-E-A-D line, deadline. When will you give me this? This question, I'll give you next week, don't apply. I need it on the 19th of July at 10 a.m. That become a deadline, meaning you can't change that date. If you give next week and next month, you can always change it again. So we're not Asians, as an Asian community, we're not used to that fixing the time. Okay? We will, especially because we're going to tell a staff, you're not performing well. I need you to improve. We procrastinate on such things. Right? And this also applies to people because we're not that good yet. So here's an example, okay? Here's a very good example. Look at this, okay? See this? They're always not doing it. And here's an example. So why do we do it? See, if you want to, this is the area of procrastination. See that? The pain and the action taken. You take this pain from where it is all the way up to the very top. And then you do it. And the pain comes down. You see, the time wasted is 1 up to here. You see this? What you could have finished it between here, you are now dragged into more. When you are procrastinating, doing that, the first period of doing that, your pain will be higher. In fact, you will not be productive until it comes to a level of somewhere around here, then you become productive. Meaning you do it. Otherwise, there are a lot of emotion and all sorts of things. Now, if people recognize this, they become very productive. I believe that's so. Okay. Now, then we go into this thing. There are 9 areas. 9 areas which you can positively do something about it. The first of what is this one, okay? You see, this is the word. Compassion. See, people who has compassion. Okay? If you have a compassion about yourself and about the people that work with you, you have a compassion. Not confession, compassion. If you have compassion, okay, then the chances are you will not procrastinate. If you have less compassion, see the word less compassion, you will procrastinate, and this is what you must do. This is a big word, compassion. Okay, it's a big word. But you know, as a human being, we must see the other person's emotional level, why they cannot do it, or are you compassionate with other people? That makes you yourself realize that this person needs some support. Although many people may not want you to support them. So in that case, if you are a person who do not have this compassion, the chances are you will procrastinate. That sounds strange to you? Huh? It's strange, right?
I know some great bosses who tell, I don't care, only tomorrow. Doesn't care whether you do that. Tomorrow it has to be tomorrow. Then you come back and tell me why why the boss said wrong.
Okay.
I would have done what you want, but you should not have done this.
Okay. But you see, the thing is this, the person who's telling you, I don't care, you do it, that person is not a compassionate person. He is a procrastinator.
Oh.
You see now? Understand that very carefully. Okay. Because he's not compassionate, he tells you, get it done. I don't care, do it. He's not a compassionate person. He doesn't know the reason why you can't do it or you'll be delayed. See? Not only he has shown that he is a person who procrastinates, he also makes the other person do a lousy job, not a good job. And people who act tough may not necessarily be compassionate. And therefore, this behavior.
I know the boss was very successful in one company, and then he came to another company, he was more successful. His system didn't work. Couldn't do the same that he applied there.
May not apply. Okay. A compassionate person will never be a procrastinator. That's the sum total of this. So, what are we saying? We're saying, hey, accept that you are human. And, okay, rather be optimistic, rather than be negative, be optimistic, get it done. No? It's not so difficult to understand this behavior pattern in procrastination. I mean, if I take this and apply it to home, as an example, at home, there are many things that you want to do at home. Your wife, your children, whatever that is. A compassionate father or mother is a person who does not procrastinate, who understands. Okay? And because she and he understands it, onto the children, it will not be do it now. What is the reason behind why you are unable to do it? You see?
Talk to them.
Talk to them. So what we say that this is where, in the beginning you said, procrastination could be a mental problem. Okay? This is the psychological part of the mental problem in which people, if they have little compassion, they themselves will not procrastinate, they will teach others how not to procrastinate. That is, look at the positive side and don't look just at what can go wrong rather than what can go right. Okay, the more you look at what can go wrong, then this afternoon, that chap is a compassionate fellow. So we've got to address it in a different way. Yeah, this is the first thing. Second thing, and this you again, see this is also very strong. You see, role model. in a home or in a working area, if you have a table which you work with a whole lot of things on the table, you will not be productive. You are setting a bad example. That's what you said just now.
Yeah, I
Organized.
agree.
Huh?
I agree.
It has to be an organized place.
You cannot organize it, then when you want to do something, you can't get what you want on the spot, so you can procrastinate. And if you have a role model or your mentor teaching you, and he is like that, you do such that, you like that.
You better be like that. Okay?
Not necessarily, because you are you, end of the day you see your boss unorganized, you don't want to be organized. There are people like that.
Yeah. See, again, what does it take you to be organized? One day? 1 day? 2 days? How long did it take you? Yeah? A day. Right. 1 day. 1 day. Took you 1 day, okay. See, the thing is this, if you really want your organization or the people you work with not to procrastinate anything, you must set the example. Okay? You have a set date in which things have to be done. If you don't set a good example, the people are going to follow you. And by example, so the answer to this is, hey, what do I do then? So if you cannot set a good example, then what do? You must start there. Those people who rush in, do it now, get it done now. I have a boss meeting tomorrow, and all that. They're just putting on a show. They themselves are not effective. And because they're not effective, others suffer. And sometimes people go into a lots of, exactly, lot of stress to go through to do that. Okay? So this is the second thing that also makes an organization not so effective. And we notice that in a lot of cases, people do that. People just rush into it. Okay? We saw that example this morning, isn't it? Okay? I mean, something that should have been addressed some time ago was not addressed, and then eventually leads to more issues.
Misunderstanding.
Huh?
Misunderstanding.
Yes.
Waste time.
Something that could have been settled. Something that could have been settled eventually has become a very big issue, leading to lots of things, okay? You know what I'm talking about, okay? So, this is something that you must address. The third thing is about, you don't think you are effective at the task. You don't think you will be effective at the task. This is usually like what he said just now, Karuna said just now, that I don't have the necessary information to do a task. Therefore, he said, it's there, I got to look for it. You thought, I don't have the information, I got to look for it. Okay. Now, first and foremost, if somebody hands you something, a task which you have never done before, you must immediately tell the person, hey, I've never done this before. I don't have any idea. I don't have the knowledge. Neither do I have the experience to do that. So I have to literally start from scratch. So this is going to take me a while. Okay. How many people will stand up and say like that to your boss? You won't, see. You know what? Because you want the boss to think that you can do it. But you see, the boss is not making the mistake. You are the person that allowing the mistake to happen. And then this brings home another problem. you can't do it, you have to look for this at this time, and then this stress level is taken home and shown at home, or with other things, or with your subordinate, and then leads into other complications. So this is an important thing to understand. And if you have never done a task before, admit you don't know. I'll try. I'm not saying I don't do it. I'll try. But don't expect the best from me. I'm going to take time. Can I come back to you and review with you what I've done? Is this what you're looking for? That kind of thing is something that you need to.
Very few
Huh?
Very few people like that.
Okay.
I've seen one or two who are damn good, they care, and they really perform. They are performers, and they outrightly will tell the boss, boss, I think you're not fair to give me the job within short span, and I have so many other things to do. Then first time I'm trying, I will try, but you must give me time. I will get it organized and do it. Very few,
Well,
That depends on your relationship with your boss. If you are like a novice, you just study. Don't think you dare speak up like in that manner.
The person was very confident and they know what they are doing.
Yeah,
They are
obviously.
very good at it. I have one lady I know was looking for Kenneth Chin, and Indian lady. Then there's another lady, Chinese lady. She would take whatever the boss gives. The boss will bully her. If can be bully one, you know Kenneth Chin is it? The cardiologist is part time. The cardiologist, so this is come to the office of UK. So,
32 years love story.
today I know for many years, today she's like that, she would tell me, I don't think so. I can take this job immediately. You want, you must be fair to me. I got to learn. Doesn't care whether you're a first timer, she knows you the first time, or she knows you for many years. Very few, very handful of
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, okay, we have to observe this when it comes to ourselves. We need to have the ability to say, look, but I am not so sure about relationship here. See, the relationship is not something that you should make use of. The relationship with your superior is not something that you should make use of, but you should leave it there in times when you really need it, then you can use that as a reference point. But otherwise, it should be done in a very careful manner, meaning that you've never done it before. You say to someone, I've never done it before, I do not know what the result will be, hey, I'll try. I'll try. Okay, but already admit that I will not do the best. But can I check with you? It's a simple thing. Can I check with you if you've done something and come back with you, say in 3 days from now, 4 days from now? Check. And that's the way to get moving with this. And if you have worked with somebody for a minimum period of 6 months, okay, then the person will say, oh, I'll give it a try and see what happens. If somebody will not say, okay, let me do it, you won't. Unless, of course, if you say, I've never done this before, I can't do it. That's a strong term.
Why I say this, Dr. Venga? Because sometimes when you give a task to somebody, right, I don't hear them saying directly to me, but I get the story later from someone saying that that person no experience. But the experience is something you've got to go and seek those people who are well versed doing the job. That's how you learn. So that's what I'm saying. But sometimes because of that, there are people who are okay when I say something, they will accept. They'll say, okay, I will probably get a senior to kind of help me out, something like that. But there are juniors who are giving the task because I want them to learn, but they dare not tell in front. That's why I'm saying this. Yeah.
I have a niece. She works in a big company, and she sees me every month. And she always does it. She reports to her manager, but the GM of the company comes directly to her, gives her new task and all that, to the point that she feels very frustrated. Why me? And there are people above me, they earn much more than me. Whereas I, being a subordinate staff, I have to do this job. And I sat down and explained to her, see, the GM has found you to be reliable. Okay, tell me why he comes to you. So we sat down and went to analysis, and I found out the reason is whatever job he gives it to her, she delivers it on the deadline. Become very reliable. Because she's reliable, it comes to her. Okay. So I told her, this is an opportunity for you to grow. Don't change your job. Okay, I said, don't change your job. Stay. The more new job you get, the faster you will learn. Then as you learn and you become good and very good at it, now, let's say your GM is going somewhere else. Okay, he will look for you. Okay, that's one choice. The other choice is, if you are doing all this job with a vast experience, the next time you apply for a job, in the job interview, you can go through what you have done. And that helps you in getting the range of salary. But also, I went on to explain, if you compare yourself and with another friend who's doing less work and earning more, there is no comparison. Because you are not prepared to do what the other friend of yours can do or will do. You're not prepared to do that, whatever that may be. So this is one way. Learn. The more new job they give you, that means they value your work. So to me, that's the way to do it. Okay? No one will exploit you. I don't think so. We're not working in a slavery time where 16-hour days, we're not like Iraq and places like that. You're not working as a slave. You can't possibly do that. So I'm saying, hey, okay, this gives you, see, here we spend some time talking about new task. The new task, which you've never done before, takes you a little time. But if you do not do new task, you actually stop growing your life. You're stagnating. And a lot of people stagnate. That's the reason why. That is the reason why our civil service became so complex and so big and so elephant-like and so corrupted. Is because of this. Whereas in the outside world, people have moved on. And this is something that you need to do. Okay? This is something, okay? This is not so good. Let me change